Is she coming? Yeah, apparently she is. And no, I don't work for intelligence systems. This was just an educated guess based on previous data. Let's take a look at our brand new Astra colorless mythic, shall we?
Let the lesson begin.
What's up, guys? Akariss here, bringing you another Fire Emblem Heroes video. Pretty early for me, but I wanted to cover our brand new mythic, at least first impressions, reactionary to the video itself, and just go over what I think we might do. I'm gonna do a more in-depth, comprehensive analysis on where I think she stacks up versus the other Astra mythics and ranking them and such, but that's once we see her stats, and I want to see as well when she comes back and such. This likely does foreshadow not showing up on the midpoint banner as a dark mythic. I'm pretty confident that'll be the case. So this is kind of cool that Ashera's finally in the game, because she's due to be a mythic in contrast to Yoon since forever, so that's pretty awesome. I'll give you guys a should you summon on the banner overall near the end once we see the composition of the units here and things to look forward to. Shall we? Let's jump into it.
Restraint, order,
so Ashera is a colorless tome infantry unit, which is fitting. On Astra, that's pretty good because I believe it's heavy on reds. There's like 3 Astra mythics that are red, Naga is blue, so having colorless is pretty strong. It seems like she gives res. Finally, they finally have res. So she's gonna at least provide a very important buff, because as we know, air and res are very important when encountering many teams that hit res, so that is good. As the by the way, the art is splendid. I actually like it a lot. All right, so that is a lot of text, but I'll try to sum it up for you guys best as I can. Her weapon grants 3 attack, and it has a condition as long as she's over 25% health, which is basically the easiest condition ever, or if there's a bonus on her. Honestly, the health condition already meets it. So she gets 5 to all stats, and she gets a secondary effect, which basically takes the stats of an ally nearby and then gives her bonus attack. So I'm not really sure what to name this, but basically the more buffed one unit is within 2 spaces of her, the more power she gets. So imagine her supported by like male Corrin within 2 spaces. He has 6 to all stats. She just gets 24 attack. So I suspect she's going to be a super nuke bomb on the enemy. I guess this is really fitting of what she is. The thing that's really surprising here is she actually moves, and she never did in her game, so that's going to be kind of weird. I figured they'd do something to make her like stationary or whatnot, but I guess that's not here. She comes with attack res ideal 4, which is again a good set of skills. The ideals and catch skills are basically upgrades to previous A skills with some conditions that actually matter. She comes with low speed res, and because she comes with that, I'm actually going to infer that speed will matter for her. Like, she's actually going to have a speed stat. I can't know for sure, but the fact that she comes with that lull implies she probably has a speed stat. So okay, and finally her preference C skill. So her preference C skill is basically as long as she's within 2 spaces of allies, she's going to give them attack and res 6, which is good, and null panic, which is brand new here. So null panic basically removes, not removes, but neutralizes the panic effect, but keeps that icon there, meaning that like units that have penalty checks will still count that as a penalty, but the unit itself will not be panicked, like they won't get debuffed. Think of this as like the Bronya or the Vector or the Attune effect. Finally, you can give this to allies, and that's pretty good, man. Like, I think that's actually pretty good. On top of that, as long as she is within 3 allies, she gives herself those benefits too. So to be honest, For like at least supportive capabilities, being able to remove panic is pretty good. It's not, panic isn't as common as it used to be, but this is still nonetheless very good for herself and her allies. It seems like most of her weapon seems to be based on like combat itself, like big nukes. That's okay. However, I'm gonna really reserve my opinion on this until I see her stat spread, because I feel like it's got to be pretty high on res and hopefully some defense, like bulky stats, to make up for the fact that her weapon is like a giant nuke. If she's too fragile, then I suspect she's going to have some consistency issues. The fact that she can nullify panic and buff, though, is pretty good compared to, you know, some other Ashera Mythics that don't do that. You know, the one that flies and has 2 weapons, but we're enough about that one. She's pretty decent by at least Ashera Mythic standards and gives res. So by first impression, I think she's pretty good. Not like game breaking, but pretty good. Trying to carry with a unit like this is, in my opinion, not a good idea. Combat mythics in general, or whatever. She has low health, 37 HP, so I'm assuming a lot of the other stats will end up in the other stats. Also, literally 71 attack before even the crazy animation of nuking from the skies. Glacies itself could probably be calculated there from the difference of 71 and 119. I'm not going to do that, but you guys could definitely do that. Take that difference, 80%, and that is how much it is. I'm just giving you guys my quick impressions here. So here's the banner itself. I'll look at all the candidates, and then I'll give you my final verdict on whether this is probably worth considering or waiting for a future banner where she might come back. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad she's in the game. Like, I'm glad she's finally in the game. We didn't get another OC, but I'm pretty sure they moved that to June. That whole like OC thing. Sorry, like the midpoint June banner. Alright, so here's what we got, folks. Looks like we got Ashera, Claude, and Corrin in colorless, which just by fodder reasons alone, that's really good. You got like the new ideal, you got distant counter, joint drive attack, and you got attack speed catch, I believe, off of Claude. So just off fodder, colorless is pretty good, but you also have potentially Wind from Corrin, a recent legendary, Earth from Claude, also very good legendary, and Ashera. So this would be really good if if either Claude or Corrin, or ideally both, are your core projects, and you haven't merged up any Ashera Mythics yet. So if you have like over, let's say 600, 700 orbs, then colorless is going to be pretty good for you. If you don't have about that much, though, I probably wouldn't gamble or risk it here and just wait until the reruns happen. The only other notable like color here, I would say, is probably red for Elwood, Roy, and Azel, because I believe Azel comes with Ardul Infantry 4, and Roy and Elwood provide differing seasons here. So it seems okay. Green also seems decent as well, with Triandra, Freya sharing, like that previously. So if you've already had merges on those, then that'd be a good time to accrue them, with the do giving you near save in sturdy stance 3, I believe, which is pretty good. Everything else doesn't really seem too great. I don't think blue is anything worth talking about. And again, red and green are totally dependent on your own barracks and whether you have merges on those. Colorless is a win, but only if you're ready with like literally hundreds of orbs. But yeah, I'd say that pretty much sums up my thoughts on Ashera, at least first impression, and the banner itself. Consider your own barracks, folks. Don't go into this without at least like 300, 400 orbs, or you'll likely be disappointed like I have time and time again. I don't have any orbs anyways, so I'm not committing to this right now, but I'm definitely going to be looking at potentially Corrin sharing with either Ashera or Mila in the future. That'd be really good for me. Claude and Ashera with not enough orbs doesn't really matter for me here, but I'll definitely be looking at the rerun and maybe saving for that. Okay, guys. That is it for me. Let's wait until we see stats, and I will cover Ashera in more detail and rank her with the Ashera Mythics at that time. Altina will probably be last place. That's just a little bit of a heads up. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to, just like the blue on that res or the blue on these characters, turn that thumbs up just that color. Subscribe if you haven't already, guys, and if you love this content or at least like this content, then maybe consider looking in the description below for the Patreon link that helps support keep this content coming. Twitch Prime, Twitch subs are free as well if you choose to go that route. Thank you guys for everything. Love you all. I will see you in the next one. Much love. Peace. Oh, by the way, called it.
It's over.